continue our reading of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, trying to study. Today we will be covering Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 19, King Yati achieves the liberation, and texts 5 and 6, especially those who are hearing online. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare. जय विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तुत श्री श्रीमती वांगेश्वर गुरुदेव की जय। जय विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तुत श्री श्रीमती वांगेश्वर एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ISKCON एंड फाउंडर श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तुत श्री श्रीमती वांगेश्वर भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत गुरु वैष्णव की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री गोस्वामी की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपकुंड श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। यमुना मैया की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। All glories to somebody what is Hare Krishna. All glories to somebody what is Hare Krishna. All glories to somebody what is Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are continuing our reading of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam by the mercy of Guru Parampara, Canto 9, Chapter 19, and we are covering verses 5 and 6. Maybe we will do the first. Okay, we can go through. I will just read the verse and then we can just do the translation. Shrotriya kupata shushroni. Sorry. Oh. That is written here? Yeah. Yeah. Shrotriya kupata shushroni. Tam eva chakame kaila. Taya vritam samudvikshya. Bhavayo aja kanta kamini. Sotriya kupat shroni. Tam eva chakame kila. Taya vritam samudvikshya. Bhavyo aja kanta kamini. Prabhu? Vijay Prabhu? You want to? Shrotriya krupat shushroni. Tama eva chakame kila Tvaya kripatamudekshya Bhyo ajakanta kamini. Shriya kripat shrushroni Tameva chakame kila Tayavritam samudvikshya Bhyo ajakanta kamini. Anyone else? Okay. Then I continue on the second verse, 6. Pivanam shma shrulam prestham midvashmasham yabha kovidam sa eko aja vrishas tasham bahivinam rati vardhanaha reme kama graha grasta atmanam nava buddhayat. So translation. Sorry, the word by word. Sa, the she-goat. Uttariya, getting out. Kupat, from the well. Shushroni, possessing very nice hips. Tam, onto the he-goat. Eva, indeed. Chakame, desire to get as her husband. Kila, indeed. Taya, by her. Vritam, accepted. Samudvikshya, seeing. Bhavya, many others. Aja, she goats. Kanta kamini, desiring to get the he-goat as their husband. Pivanam, very stout and strong. Smashrulam, having a very nice moustache and beard. Prestam, first class. Midi Vamsham, expert in discharging semen. Yabha Kovidam, expert in the art of sexual intercourse. Saha, that he-goat. Eka, alone. Aja Varsha, the hero of the goats. Tasham, of all the she-goats. Bahavinam, a great number. Radhi Vardhana, could increase the lusty desire. Reme, he enjoyed. Kama graha grasta, being hunted by the ghost of lusty desire. Atmanam, his own self. Na, not. Avabudhyata, could understand. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. When the she-goat, who had very nice hips, got out of the well and saw the very handsome he-goat, she desired to accept him as her husband. When she did so, many other she-goats also desired him as their husband, because he had a very beautiful bodily structure and a nice moustache and beard, and was expert in discharging semen and in the art of sexual intercourse. Therefore, just as a person haunted by a ghost exhibits madness, the best of the he-goats, attracted by the many she-goats, engaged in erotic activities and naturally forgot his real business of self-realization. Purport. Materialists are certainly very much attracted by sexual intercourse. Yan maithunadi grihamedhi shukham hitucham. Although one becomes a grihasta, a householder, to enjoy sex life to his heart's content, one is never satisfied. Such a lusty materialist is like a goat, for it is said that if goats meant for slaughter get the opportunity, they enjoy sex before being killed. Human beings, however, are meant for self-realization. Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhyet yashmad brahma saukhyam to anantam. 551. Human life is meant for realization of the self and the spiritual soul within the body. Dehinam ashmin yadha dehe. 2.13. A materialist, a rascal, does not know that he is not the body, but a spiritual soul within the body. However, one should understand his real position and cultivate knowledge by which to get free from bodily entanglement. Like an unfortunate person who acts madly, haunted by ghosts, a materialist haunted by ghosts of lust forgets his real business, so that he can enjoy so-called happiness in the body concept of life. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunumitam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Todati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamasya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagadapate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Wow. What a verse. What a verse, I mean, really. It's, sometimes we feel like, oh, what should I say? Should we just skip this one? This is like, I'm not sure. I mean, of course, nowadays we don't watch movies, but before coming to Krishna consciousness, maybe we have seen some Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, and XYZ wood movies. And the description sounds like similar, in that movies. This is how it happens. Nice description is given. I mean, the movie, that means it has a video, it has an audio, it can, visual effect is there. And also when we travel, we see here and there also the same description we can visualize. And then what is the end result? Maybe similar. But because of Prabhupada's mercy, devotees' mercy, somehow at least, as a practicing devotee, we are trying to get over this, right? So the question is, why we are studying this? Why we have to go through this description, especially this description? It's given so visually, the she-goat who had a very nice hips got out of the well and saw the very handsome husband. And then he had a very beautiful structure, nice moustache and beard. At least Prabhupada saved us. Prabhupada said, my disciples, and of course that means following generation as well, They don't keep beard and mustache. Clean shave, he used to say, clean shave. The question was given to him, why do you shave heads? And Prabhupada, he said, we just want to keep ourselves clean, you know. And then he mentioned about the hippies. They keep the long hair, but then we want to just for cleanliness, we want to keep it clean, nice, clean shave. So at least that is the beginning for us. They at least looking at us, you know, bold, like no hair. Of course, I have kept a little bit, but especially if you see nice brahmacharis having clean shave, nice tilak, so at least the opposite party will not get attracted. Will not get attracted. At least they are saved, and that particular devotee is also saved, right? Otherwise, what happens? Then the connection happens. They get together, and that's what the situation, our previous karma, our destiny will arrange circumstances that both parties will come together and they admire each other's. Especially they will forget if the person is not having dehinasmin yatha dehe kaumaram yonam jara tatha dehantaram prapti dhirastatra namuhyati. If they don't have that spiritual vision that I am not this body, I am a spiritual soul, then what happens? This is what happens. They get attracted and then they go further. They have the union. And that also is described. That is also described here. That he was so expert in such activities. And then not only one she-goats, but then many other got attracted. And that happens. And then what happens? The person will take advantage of it. If he is having that mentality of enjoying materially, sensual activities, then what will happen? He will get use of those who get attracted. And then what will happen? Their real business of self-realization will be lost. Right? So, I mean, just give you the brief background. I mean, what happens? Is it relevant right now? Is it happening? Similar situation is happening in the current context? Yes. It happens. It happens. Especially here it says, Prabhupada wrote, materialists are certainly very much attracted by sensual intercourse, the sense gratification, right? And then it's written, although one becomes grihasta, actually it's grihamedi, right? The householder, to enjoy sex life as his heart content. And that's what we see. I mean, if you go online, the dark web, we don't want to name the sites, but there are so many sites. Especially recently in UK, they changed the law. There are such websites, you have to have that registration. You have to prove that you are over the age of 18. Then only you can go to get on these such websites. So what happened? The traffic went down. 50% traffic went down. And that 50% is what? 1 million users. This happened in July 2025. And whom we are talking about? We are talking about the kids getting into this. They are getting attracted. They are getting attracted to these activities. And what is happening? They are losing their focus from the study. They are losing their focus from the activities they are supposed to do. Play with the kids, other friends, have a nice social activities. Rather, where they are directing themselves into such activities. And what is end result? Of course, that desires, and then to fulfill their desires, they have to act. And then, if they are not getting that, what happens? They are moving towards drugs. And this is the survey done by none other than Australian E-Safety Commissioner. Recently they did it. Julie. They did it. Recently they found that 30 to 32% kids Australian kids, that is 1 in 3 kids, by the age of 13, they come across such activities. That's unstoppable. Because where it happens? They happens at the school, in the sense the discussion. It happens at the playground. They discuss this. And of course, as we grow up, we see as also that somehow the whole society is working on this principle. You go and nicely build your self, body, and then you attract opposite. And now forget about opposite. Now it's even the same sex. Right? And then what is the end result? They are naturally forgetting. The word is naturally. It will happen automatically. It's not that you have to work on it. Rather, that will happen automatically. You will naturally forget the purpose of the real business of self-realization. If we go on this path, what happens? This attraction, it's a lusty attraction. Of course, we have, even in our practicing, in our spiritual environment, we have a grihasta life. I mean, Prabhupada did it. So, initially he went, and then what he saw? He saw a hippie culture. What is that hippie culture? No restriction. No restriction for what? For anything you want to do. Anything. I mean, we read in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit, they didn't have any rules for anything. Why? Because of course the society was going in that direction. They get frustrated, and now they are looking for the solution. Okay, let's not follow the system. Let's not follow any rules. Rather, we just do our own. We enjoy unlimitedly. So then the hippie culture came out. And that means they can mingle without any restriction. And Prabhupada went there by his Guru and Krishna's mercy. And then he started conducting these classes, Bhagavad Gita, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. He started doing the kirtan. And this youth, like 18 years, 15 years, 16 years, 21 years, they are coming, they are sitting, and they are experiencing higher taste. Prabhupada used to give the ISKCON bullet, prasadam. And they started getting that higher taste. And then Prabhupada started hammering this point. What is this? You are getting attracted to all this sense gratification. Okay, you are living as girlfriend and boyfriend, get married. So sannyasi, he is doing a marriage ceremony for his disciples. And then he said, okay, you get together, you live a peaceful husband-wife, but to do what? Krishna consciousness. Right? So he didn't discourage grihasta. Here the point is not that discouraging the grihasta. The point is this strong lusty attachment that we are discouraging. Otherwise, where it is leading us? It is leading us naturally forgetting our real business of self-realization. We want to come out. So Prabhupada, he introduced marriage ceremony. In India, he did it nice marriage ceremony, a vague one, right? And who was the other one? I think Australian, I forgot. They did it nice ceremony in a big pandal program. They did, one Australian person was there, whether it's a male, female, devotee, I don't know. But they did it big ceremony. That means they show that the life is not only for sense gratification. Develop the Krishna consciousness. And then what happened? These 6 devotees, 3 couples, 6 devotees plus the daughter, Saraswati, went to UK, to London. And what did they do? They did the great development of Krishna consciousness. They introduced Krishna consciousness all over the world by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, so many, they went around the world, and then by Prabhupada's mercy, and Prabhupada established this. So, this is the purpose of human life, to develop the Krishna consciousness. If we don't do this, then what happens? If we are just going on, here it says, here he says, although one becomes a grihasta, actually, he just stays. Of course, we use the grihasta ashram, the one who is situated in a household life to develop Krishna consciousness. But, of course, the description is for grihamedi. To enjoy such life to his heart's content, one is never satisfied. Is never satisfied. Just like if fire is happening, and if you add some more fuel, what happens? The fire will come out bigger, and better. It will consume everything around. The more you add, the more it will spread, and then it will consume many things, right? So if we don't stop it there, what happens? People are getting frustrated, and they get addicted to so many things. So many things. Psychological trauma, social trauma, physical trauma, abuses. There has to be a limit. There has to be a regulation. And that regulation is coming from these scriptures, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The regulation is coming from Vedic way of living life under the direction of Guru and Krishna. Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. Right? Recently one person, he wrote to my spiritual master, because he has that thought for the day. One young boy, he wrote, that what is wrong with that? I can help myself and I can go on enjoying this way. Once I get married, then that will increase my enjoyment, because now I have another partner to gratify their senses, to fulfill the desires of those senses, right? I can go on. So then, of course, my Gurudev's answer, it may seem like very strong, heavy, that if you wish that way, then better you take another body, pig body or dog body. Why? Because at least in that body you can do that purpose, but then you will not get reactions, the karmic reactions. You will not get karmic reaction. But the human form of life, whether we know the rules or not, it is designed that this body, human form of life, this higher intelligence is meant for self-realization. 8,400,000 species of life you go through, you achieve this human form of life. That the purpose of this human body, just like this purpose of this microphone is to broadcast the sound which is coming inside, and then it will spread more, bigger way. Every instrument here, it has a specific purpose. So that human body has a specific purpose. That is self-realization. So if you like that way, then better you take the body of a hog or a dog or other animals that you will enjoy and you will not get reactions. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam sudyet yashmat. This is the nice verse. Rishabhadev, right? Rishabhadev is speaking to his sons. That, my dear boys, I'm leaving you, but of course I'm giving you this whole kingdom and everything, but don't forget your real business. Don't go on that sense gratification path. Go on the self-realization path. So before giving the kingdom, he is directing them. He is giving the higher intelligence. He is giving the higher realizations. He is saying, don't go on that path. Better you continue your self-realization. This verse is nicely describing even the relationship, This description is giving the external description. Like it's nicely describing the bodily structure of both opposite party, male and female. If we apply the same, we can go on the street and we can have two kinds of vision. One is we can see the opposite party as the instrument for my sense gratification. Or the other way is, we can see them from a soul perspective. Mahalakshmi Mataji and Anita Mataji and many other devotees who are doing the book distribution, they go on the street, they see the person on the soul platform. Right? They see the person. They don't see whether he's Indian, African, American, male, female, in between. They don't see that. They see, oh, this person is living, is human form of body. Let me present the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. But if we don't have that vision, what happens? Then we will see, oh, they have nice hips. They have nice mustache. They have nice strong muscles. Right? Beautiful bodily structure. That's what we will see. And what will happen? We will go on the path of sense gratification. And this can happen at any stage of our life. Even as a devotees, we should be always careful. Including myself. I'm telling to myself as well. I'm speaking, then I have to focus more on this. Right? Even at the age of 84, it happened with Ajamil, 85, right? Of course, he started early, but even that, he was strongly attached. Of course, Bhaktivedantas, that is, all the devotees saved him. They gave him his son name, Narayan, and he called out the name Narayan. And then Vishnu Dutas came. Okay. At this stage, I'd like to mention a wonderful sentence I heard recently from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, as I am attending his class. He mentioned about his Guru Maharaj, Vardhana Swami Maharaj. He gave a wonderful sentence. He said, people are for love and affection, and things are for use. People are for love and affection, and things are for use. But in the ignorance of our real spiritual understanding, what happens? We use people and we love things. Right? We use people. So here the description is that both are seeing each other from that use perspective. You are walking, and I have seen at workplace, we have the discussion. Many times they discuss this. They may not take up the self-realization or the Krishna consciousness, but they open their heart. At workplace, they see other staff, they feel like, oh, this same description. And then they're like attracted. What to do? Because they see you some spiritual, they see you maybe you have some higher principle, and maybe it will help, it will benefit them. And we have our discussions, right? So then, first thing we have to introduce is, I am not this body. Dehini ashmin yatha dehe kaumana. I am not this body, I am a spiritual being. When you come to that platform, then at least some awakening is there. That you will not see the other party, the opposite sex, as for the use to gratify your senses. Rather you will see as a soul. Now I can engage them in Krishna's divine service. So only solution is scientific education of Krishna consciousness. That is the only real solution. It is a matter of following spiritual and religious way of living life. This is nicely given in this verse we discussed, 551. Tapo divyam putra kya yena sattvam suddhet yashmat Brahma Saukyam Tva Anantam. One should engage in penance and austerity to obtain the divine position of devotional service. When we start that, then we will see that women as the object of devotion. Prabhupada used to say, especially even in early age, there were so many becoming brahmacharis, right? And then they started feeling, oh, we are the great, we are the brahmacharis. What is this grihasta? They are so low. They haven't given up the sense gratification. And Prabhupada, of course, all this applies to the external people who are still attached to sense gratification, right? But then Prabhupada didn't say that. The conversation was going on. So Prabhupada didn't say anything at that time. When Prabhupada finished the morning walk, and then he came back, and then they opened. When the door they opened, there were two mothers or female devotees or Vaishnavis, right? However you call it. They were standing, Prabhupada's female disciples, they were standing. And Prabhupada said, especially I remember if that was Yamuna Mataji and some other devotee, female devotee. And Prabhupada said, yes, but if you associate with these women, you will go back home, back to Godhead. Why? Because this culture, Vedic culture, this divine Krishna consciousness is teaching us how to go beyond our body, how to see that person as a person, a soul connected with Krishna. Connected with Krishna. And then there was the introduction of so many other principles, especially this Chanakya Niti, that is Matras, Duhitra, what is that verse? That except your wife, you see every other woman as your mother. Because at least in our culture, Vedic culture, we will not think about having this kind of activities with our mother, right? At least. So then, that consciousness, that mind change is required. And if we start applying to ourselves, then we can bring change in this world. Otherwise, they are also talking about these policies. But these policies, what will it do? It will not stop there. No matter how many material solution you can put to finish this, it will not finish. It will go on. This kind of behavior, it will go on. And people will lose their self-realization chance. Here, it's nicely given in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, verse 13. Prabhupada writes, through proper deliberation, one should give up attraction to his wife's body. Not wife, but wife's body. So if you have that attraction, if you can have that affection, yes, somehow you are grihasta, no problem. But you transform that attraction to spiritual way of living life. Affectionately you cultivate each other in Krishna consciousness. Not that you have to discard, you go out, you throw them away. Not that way. Rather, you give up the attraction to his wife's body, because that body will ultimately be transformed into small insects, stool and ashes. Right? What is the value of this insignificant body? How much greater is the Supreme Being who is all pervading like the sky? Prabhupada is explaining, and the teachings are explaining that better we have attraction for Radha Vallabha. We get attracted to their divine appearance, form, so that we will not get attracted to this physical form, lust way. If one gives up attachment for the body and increases the attachment, his attachment for the spirit soul, his life is successful. It is merely a matter of deliberation. And that deliberation we require every moment. No matter how many years of devotional practice we do, for us and for general people. Because tomorrow we are facing the world, we are going to work, we are going to other places. At least if we discuss these points through the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, at least we will remain pure. That is why this translation and purports are given. Not that we have to skip, but we understand. If we don't take it from these pages, what will happen? We will take the same understanding from outside. And they are also teaching. Now they are having this education at the school level. Right? This kind of education. Of course, it's a good thing because they are teaching at least how to prevent yourself from the abuse, how to detect that someone is behaving this way, how to step away from that area, from that situation, is teaching them. But of course, the other aspect, which is that aspect, liberation aspect is not there. The liberation aspect is not there. They are not saying that this is, at one point you have to stop, because if you continue on this path, it will never stop. Here it says, and this is what we will see in few verses, that King Yati is describing. He said, I have enjoyed these 1,000 years, celestial years, now I'm just done. Otherwise I will go on. This will never stop. I have to stop. I have to stop. So better we study from pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Another verse is nicely given. It's 552. This is the solution, how the solution works, how we can come out from this entanglement, lusty desires. Is given is this one, 552. We can see how the association, by the association of Mahatmas, one is saved from going to hell. Otherwise, for those who are not interested in such activities, as per the description here, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. So Mahatmas, and Srila Prabhupada is such great Mahatma. This Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, King Yati is becoming Mahatma. Later we will see, he will give up and then he will focus on the spiritual personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He will focus himself on that, on him, and then he will achieve the liberation. That is the title of this chapter, as well as this is the title of this canto, liberation. We want to come out from this bodily concept of living. One example is Narada Muni. We can see. He describes in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, verse 69. Just like this description is given, there he is describing himself. He is talking to Yudhishthira Maharaj and he is describing himself. What happened when he was a Gandharva? What is the name of Gandharva? Upabarna. He was describing that I was so beautiful. I had a strong, nice body. My bodily luster was so effulgent. And I was very expert in music, singing, playing the instruments. And what I did, once there was a party, Harinam party, the gathering, satsang, katha, Krishna katha or Harinam Sankirtan was going on. And because there were many nice, beautiful girls, apsaras were sitting, naturally, just like here. Then he started glorifying the demigod. He started different, not the Krishna katha, he started different katha to attract them. And then what happened? The host, he realized, oh, what you are doing? You want to do this? Then better you take the birth further down on the planet Earth, where you can have the plenty. And there will not be restrictions. You can have nicely. At least the Krishna Katha, let the Krishna Katha go on like nicely here. Don't mix all this here. So then he came down, he became the son of maidservant. And what happened? By the association of Mahatmas, because his mother is serving, the Mahatmas were at their place for 4 months, and then he started serving, and then he took the remnants of these Mahatmas, great Bhaktivedanta Mahatmas. Then what happened? He became Narada Muni. He became Narada Muni. Otherwise, path to hell is wide open. So, here he says, I had a beautiful face and pleasing and attractive bodily structure, decorated with flower garlands and sandalwood pulp. I was most pleasing to the women of my city. Thus I was bewildered, always feeling lusty desires. Now this Narada Muni is describing how much fortunate we are that they are disclosing their heart. If we examine ourselves, then we have to consider, oh, where I am standing. Do I have such strength to explain, to disciple like this. Yudhishthira Maharaj is listening like this. But then he is describing the solution. He is describing the glories of Mahatma. He is describing the glories of the association of the saintly characters, personalities. Then he transformed from this place, this person, to a beautiful Vaishnava who is glorifying Lord all over the world, who is a disciple of so many great personalities. And King Yayati will also go through that transformation. So they will achieve the self-realization. And another point is nicely given here. Canto 7, chapter 15. Chapter 15 is about householder life. And verse 74. The process of chanting the holy name of the Lord is so powerful that by this chanting, even householders, grihastas, can very easily gain the ultimate result achieved by persons in the renounced order. Maharaj Yudhishthira, I have now explained to you that process of religion. Even the renounced order, that is sannyas. Sannyas is doing what? By BMW. B means body, M means mind, and W means words. BMW. Sannyasi is engaged. He engaged his BMW in Krishna's service. So if householder or grihasta, if he can do that way, then he will achieve the liberation. Here is written, Canto 7, chapter 14, verses 3 and 4. A grihasta must associate again and again with saintly persons, and with great respect he must hear the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnation, as these activities are described in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and other Puranas. Thus, one should gradually become detached from the affection or lusty desires for his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. So, even if we do that way, even at the time of death, we'll be saved. Just like Ajamil was saved. Right? So, with this, I stop here. I think all the points are covered. And it's at 8:30. Is there any question, comment or correction?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how our material desires are ignited by the discussions that we have on our school playgrounds and even in the discussions. So, Prabhu, how do we make sure all of our material studies are dovetailed into Krishna consciousness? Because there are some subjects that, we cannot connect with Krishna consciousness. So.
Wow. Become expert, pray to Krishna. How I can connect? Because Nirbandhes, what is that verse? Bhakti Sahib Prabhu, remember that verse? Yeah, please, if you can repeat, Anas. Yes, thank you. So we can dovetail everything in relation to Krishna if we focus on Krishna. Anything. It said, sometimes it was said, I don't know, somewhere I read that, before the devotees go for Harinam, so sometimes the pub people, what do they have? If you go to pub, don't go to the pub. I'm not saying that you go to pub, but you can go to the pub to do Harinam, right? We enter. So what do they have? They have alcohol. What do they can give? Generally here they don't give money as such, but then sometimes they give. So spirit. So how do they use alcohol? They can use for some cleaning purpose or some other ways they can use that. And that's what devotee did. So from that perspective, if we are conscious, if we are expert, daksha, then we can utilize everything in Krishna's service. Provided we want to utilize for Krishna's service. Krishna will give intelligence how we can utilize that, the subject matter, in Krishna's service. And as far as the association, of course, which is not avoidable, because nowadays we are living in this environment. We can't just 100% create the previous Satyuga style. We can try, but it may not happen during our lifetime. So at least while we are there in that environment, at least internally we can focus on Krishna. That we can create that environment, a cover for us, that the external, weapons of materialism will not touch us. So we can just, and sometimes when, just like a Prahlad Maharaj did, even though he was in the association of this demoniac environment, including his father, but he was always protected. He always saved himself by always remembering Krishna. So, sometimes you may get opportunity to preach, then you do. But sometimes the schools, they have restrictions. So if you don't get that opportunity, that's okay. But at least you remain pure by constantly chanting Hare Krishna and try to give wherever possible. So, and please keep coming here, no matter how busy. I mean, recently I heard as the study increases, they have so many other things, assignments and this many, and year 12, 11. But at least don't lose this attraction for this studying Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. As you grow up, that will protect. Always attend the class, whether here or at home, associate with Bhāgavatam. Here it says, if you associate with Mahatmas, then whatever is in troublesome, it will go away. So, they will give you intelligence. Any other question, comment? No? Thank you. Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.